All right, let's dive into what is easily the biggest story in tech right now, the AI war. Because by the time we hit 2026, this fight between OpenAI and Google, it's not really about who can build a smarter chatbot anymore. No, it's about who gets to build the operating system for your life. And the company you think is winning? Well, you might want to think again.
For the longest time, the story was pretty simple, right? OpenAI was the cool, revolutionary upstart that had totally left the giant Google in the dust. But that whole narrative, it's been completely flipped on its head. The sleeping giant didn't just wake up, it launched this methodical, frankly overwhelming counterattack that has changed the entire game.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, it all kicked off with a single moment of just pure corporate panic. When OpenAI dropped ChatGPT on the world, it triggered what they literally called a code red inside Google. This was the first time in the company's entire history that it had to face a real, honest-to-God, existential threat.
And this timeline, wow, it just perfectly captures that massive reversal. I mean, after 2 years of looking like they were totally scrambling, Google suddenly slammed on the accelerator. In 2025, it started shipping major new models at a pace nobody thought a company that huge was capable of. And now, in 2026, the tables have completely turned. Google is on the attack, and it's forcing OpenAI to change its whole strategy from just speed to depth.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the conflict. Because the war has evolved. It's not just about raw power or who has bigger data sets anymore. By 2026, it has become a true battle of ideas, a fundamental disagreement on what AI should even be. What's so fascinating here is how this table just nails their rival identities. On one side, you've got OpenAI's model, the thoughtful titan. Think of it like a brilliant methodical scientist in a lab, totally focused on deep, precise reasoning. Then you have Google's Gemini, the ambient assistant, designed to be this invisible, helpful presence that's just woven into the fabric of your day. It's the scientist versus the assistant.
And to really lean into that whole scientist vibe, OpenAI has introduced this groundbreaking feature they're calling thinking effort. You can literally tell the AI, hey, take a minute and think this through. So here's the crucial part. They're trading instant answers for near-perfect accuracy. The goal is to be the undeniable gold standard for any kind of complex, high-stakes work.
Google's strategy, the complete opposite. Gemini isn't trying to be some deep philosopher. It's the context king. Its context window is a jaw-dropping 2 million tokens. That means it can hold a stunning amount of your information in its memory. It can basically watch 2 hours of video or read thousands of pages of documents just to find one specific detail, instantly. This isn't about solving some complex problem. It's about having total awareness of your world to help you right here, right now.
But as we all know, the best tech doesn't always win, right? Behind all the flashy demos and announcements, there's a brutal economic war being fought. And this is where Google's comeback story gets really, really interesting. So let's follow the money.
Just look at this number. In 2026 alone, OpenAI is projected to lose a staggering $14 billion. See, training these monster models costs an absolute fortune, and it's pushed the company into what insiders are calling a CapEx death spiral, this relentless cycle of needing more and more cash just to stay in the game.
And here's the fundamental reason why that's happening. OpenAI is basically renting its firepower from Microsoft. They're paying this massive cloud tax to run on NVIDIA's GPUs. Google, on the other hand, forges its own weapons. It literally designs and builds its own custom AI chips, their TPUs, that are perfectly tailored and hyper-efficient for their own models.
And this chart shows you the devastating result of that strategy. Because Google has its own custom chips, a query on its AI costs an estimated 44% less than the same exact query on OpenAI's. Now that's not just a small edge, that is a massive, sustainable economic advantage. And that's the endgame, right? Make your AI so cheap to run, it can be everywhere for everyone. And that huge cost advantage led directly to this, what I think is the checkmate move of the entire war. In a totally stunning upset, Google beat out OpenAI for the Apple partnership. Just like that, overnight, Gemini became the new brain inside Siri. It landed on 2 billion iPhones, giving Google the one thing it needed most. Just unparalleled, direct distribution into the hands of users all over the world.
So all of this, the different tech, the economics, the distribution deals, it's all leading to one final battlefield. By 2026, the real prize isn't about answering your questions anymore. The ultimate goal is to create autonomous agents, AIs that don't just talk to you, they act for you. This is the real race.
the race to become the operating system for your life.
And here we go again. We see their two philosophies at war. OpenAI's vision is the operator, which is like having a brilliant AI intern. You give it a complex goal like, hey, research and then buy the best laptop for my needs, and it just works tirelessly in the background. Google's Antigravity is way more direct. It's an AI that literally takes control of your screen, clicking through websites and filling out forms to book that flight for you. It's deep work versus instant action.
So after all of that, who's actually winning in 2026? Well, the truth is, it's a split decision. OpenAI is still the undisputed champ of the innovation race. They're creating the most powerful and reliable AI reasoning on the planet, period. But Google is decisively winning the distribution race by embedding its cheaper, super-aware AI into the phones, browsers, and operating systems that billions of us already live in every single day.
And this leaves you with a really fascinating choice. If the ultimate winner isn't actually the most intelligent AI, but the one that blends so seamlessly into your life that you use it without a second thought, which future earns your loyalty? Is it the thoughtful scientist you consult for the big problems, or is it the ever-present assistant that just handles all the small stuff for you automatically?